Death Battle cast. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm the voice of Wiz in Death Battle. I'm joined by the cast of Death Battle. It's Chad, voice of Boomstick.
That's
It's
me.
Liam, voice of One Head of the Mecha Goose.
What in God's no audio? No.
It's Sam, the other Mecha Goose head.
Oh, I got snot in my nose.
Wonderful, Liam. That was a very great way to start the show.
Apologies to everyone with
you.
headphones or listening to the audio version.
Yeah, did you like that? I got some more in me.
Let's not.
How about not? Are you feeling well? Are you doing okay?
I'm feeling great. I actually cannot walk very well. I sprained my knee tubing in the lake this weekend. Like the boat like swung really hard, which was the point, because it's like haha, you fall off, but I fell off in such a way that like this is the water, my knee went like that to it and went like that, and I like apparently it was a really funny like wipeout, and they said it was the best one of the day. But like I could not walk super well afterwards, so I've been icing it. I have it in a knee brace right now. It was tremendously painful, so I'm not doing well.
Well,
gives you some serious respect for like water tension, right? Like surface tension of water becomes much
it's
more
just
significant.
Road.
Yeah.
I mean, water's tough, I guess.
Yeah. But then like floating in the lake was really fun.
Yeah. I mean, you're in Texas now. You've gone tubing. You're pretty much a Texan now. Have you had some barbecue? That's like the,
I sure have.
There. Yeah. Well, then you're done.
Yeah.
There you go.
Also, Liam tube level confirmed.
Or lake level.
Lake level. Yeah, there you go. I still want to know if you got it filmed.
No, tragically not. They had stopped filming at that point. They just filmed the part of me and my girlfriend like sitting there happily going, "Wee, yay!" just the fun initial
the
part.
Fun part.
Funny.
If
part.
only you had
out.
both, it would have been great. Anyway.
Well, just because Liam is hurting doesn't mean that you should vote for him today. Don't feel sorry for
no
him.
sympathy
No.
votes, right?
It does.
We are going to be doing a matchup I've seen requested for many years now, but as of recently might be a little bit more even than we expected it to be, which is Billy Butcher from The Boys versus the Marvel's own brutal Punisher. I'm blanking on the Punisher's real name. What the hell is his real name?
Frank
Castle?
Frank Castle.
Yeah, Frank Castle. Mr. Castle himself.
To get out on the start, right? We're just not talking about like Cosmic Ghost Rider, right?
Unless you want to, Ben. I didn't
No.
prepare it, but I can rattle off.
I mean, I imagine we are trying to go with like their standard
I assumed.
sort of.
I mean, that is Frank Castle. That was my question. Because like, if we were going to talk about that, we could just start there and then not talk about Billy at all.
But
because,
then
like,
we're not talking about Punisher anymore. We're talking
Yeah.
about Ghost Rider. So,
It's also an alternate. It is an alternate
Yeah.
universe. It's like a different timeline.
And I'm not using the comic book Billy Butcher, who's like all superhuman like all the time, because they're just like dosing up on V the whole comic book. So it's a little bit different.
You should.
Well, I don't think I'll need to. I mean, I guess I could bust it out, but I wasn't expecting to. But
all right.
we're gonna be talking about that matchup today, and see who wins between Mr. Butcher, Mr. Castle, and you guys will be voting on who should win. I will be repping Billy Butcher. Liam will be repping the Punisher. But before we get to that, I do want to make a quick note of the two things. One, the Kickstarter is obviously doing phenomenal. You guys have been crushing it with your pledges. We are, as of this very moment, at 680,000 out of 75,000. So, you know, it's doing pretty well. But also, if you missed it, we added some new reward tiers to the Kickstarter campaign. Basically, the idea being that you guys have already pledged so much. It's been an incredible amount of support that we kind of ran out of certain rewards, and we thought, okay, we need to, come up with some new ones. So we have some new tiers that you can check out. They are color coded essentially at this point. So if you haven't pledged yet, or are interested in upping your pledge a bit, or changing it, please check those out because we have some pretty cool rewards, I think, including a shirt with like what is it, like it's like that shiny gold material.
Like
I
gold
can't remember.
vinyl.
Yeah, it's like a vinyl shiny material.
Gold.
It's great. It's awesome.
Actual gold. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Don't
actual
buy those. It's
vinyl.
a huge loss.
Yeah. An actual vinyl with music on it, including some music that's never been released. And and of course there's the other rewards like the champion coin and a new way to pitch your matchup to not just me and Chad, like we've had up for a little while, but also the two people down here, Liam and Sam.
Yeah.
They're willing to take on some of the workload and hear some of your crazy ideas.
We're gonna steal your good ideas.
Yeah,
That's the point.
If you've ever wanted to pitch your matchup idea for a death battle, that is one of the rewards on the technically two at this point. There's two different options for pitching your matchup on the Kickstarter. So definitely check that out if that's something you are interested in. We've also announced the date for the theatrical premiere because we are going to be premiering the first episode of Independent Death Battle in a theater event. Which is going to be crazy, but that also coincides with the YouTube premiere. So the plan right now is to debut the first Independent Death Battle on YouTube on October 6th. And the theatrical premiere will be a couple days earlier, October 3rd, but that's just, localized in Dallas.
Ben, more importantly, as Meatloaf Man said in the chat, we're almost a month away from Skeletober.
It is pretty
yes.
Yeah.
Well, the first episode will be premiering during October, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be basically, I think, the first or second week of Skeletober. The first week. No.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm looking at. It's technically the second week. It's the first Sunday of Skeletober. So we've been talking about our plan being to release one episode a month from here on out. We are hoping to do one little difference in that, which is for the first month, because it's a big epic premiere month, we kind of want to try to get 2 episodes out. So we're gonna see if we can get 2 episodes out in the first month, October. So hopefully we can pull that one off. It's gonna be exciting. All right, so let's get into this debate, right? Where I'm gonna fucking crush Liam's ridiculous Punisher debate.
Would you say you're gonna butcher him?
Oh,
There
that's
you
much
go.
better.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. I'll save that for my 60-second thing. Let's go. All right. 60 seconds on the clock. Let's talk about Punisher first, because he's been around for decades. So
Sure,
Liam.
whatever. Yeah.
Hold on, we're
Yeah.
getting there.
So,
Hold on.
oh,
There we
Sam, are you prepared? Yes.
No.
Frank Castle, the Punisher, is a one-man superhero / villain slaying army. He is so badass that there is an alternate universe where he literally kills the entire Marvel universe. He is always prepared for everything that he's going to come into contact with. I would say that the relationship between him and Billy Butcher is kind of like the relationship. I say kind of because I'm going to explain. Kind of like the relationship between Omni-Man and Homelander. Billy Butcher's not a fraud, but he's ultimately like an everyman kind of character who uses his wits. He's very scrappy. He's a survivor, and he can definitely fight. Frank Castle is just from another level. He isn't fighting stupid, degenerate, freak superheroes. He's fighting fucking Daredevil. He's fighting the Rhino. He's fighting every supervillain and superhero you can imagine. He's just on an entirely other level. I did this a lot.
He's got a lot of
I did this
guns.
a lot during that. He's got a lot of guns. He's got more than guns.
The
Guns is the thing I'm not going to be
Rhino
talking
is another
a lot about.
level. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Please
Let's talk about Billy Butcher. Okay.
talk
So
about who's
Billy Butcher. Just a heads up, if you haven't seen season 4 of The Boys, I am going to get into some spoiler territory here. So if you haven't seen season 4, something big happens with Billy Butcher. Okay. Okay. So And if you haven't seen season 3, especially, I'm about to go into a lot of that. So Billy Butcher is the perfect assassin for superheroes in the world of The Boys, right? That is his specialty. He figures out how to take care of these superhuman freaks who are fucking up the world. He joined the British Marines when he was very young, and eventually became part of Special Forces, and then now is a souped up superpower being with incredible abilities that can kill superhumans who other superhumans can't even harm.
20 seconds. The first 20 you were saying there's going to be spoilers.
No, that's my 60 seconds.
Okay,
that's my
right,
60
cool.
seconds. Like, he
Yeah,
can kill
20 of
superhumans
it
that other
spoiler warning?
superhumans can't even like deal with. Like, that's he's one of the strongest characters in the series right now, which is wild. And I also don't want to like get too into the spoilers just yet in case somebody, you know, wants to duck out, because yeah, he's souped up right now in a way that's really fucked up.
He was souped up even in season 3. So
He was.
even just saying souped up doesn't spoil anything for, but it's season, we're talking about season 4 stuff is what he's getting
So
at.
one of the big things with both these characters, I feel like, is planning and strategizing how to take out characters who are physically and superhumanly superior to them. And this is Billy Butcher's whole thing. I'm curious how Punisher approaches characters who are like clearly more powerful than he is.
Yeah, that totally is his thing too. He has tons of equipment. He has tons of resources at his beck and call to be able to fight these superheroes, but he usually relies on a degree of prep. I think the difference, though, is that Billy Butcher, like, prep is his thing. Like, that is, I think of that, The Boys, the Diabolical, the animated short where he like spikes some superheroes something. He gives them like a bunch of amphetamine and he's like flying around and he like kills, he like smashes into a dude and explodes. And like that was his plan the entire time, was to get this superhero to kill himself. I know that Billy Butcher has tons of combat feats, but Frank, like, he plans and then he also does jump into combat and fights with these characters. He doesn't he never relies totally on prep. When his first appearance was fighting Spider-Man. When he fought Spider-Man, he actually fought Spider-Man. Yes, he like had observed Spider-Man previously to get an idea of what he could do, but when he fought him, he was fighting him, he was hitting him, he was shooting at him, he was dodging his attacks. He actually he did it, and he has combat feats that are without prep that are kind of fucking insane. Should I just get to it? I can just get to like a pretty cool one. This isn't like isn't like, yeah. Mike, could you bring up Punishers 1 through 5? So this is an arc where the War Machine armor was stolen by some dude, and Punisher had a knife, and this guy had the War Machine armor.
So good.
So he runs up to him. I think he uses like a flashbang or something to stun him. Next one, Punisher 2. This guy's in the armor. He jabs him in the eye with the knife, gets him, slashes his wrist, but gets blasted. Oh no, he's dead.
The
Punisher
armor
3,
doesn't
please.
have any protection for the eye? What?
Okay. Not in this current writing, apparently.
He chips the eye piece out. If you look at the top right.
Oh, I see. Really? With just a knife? Okay.
Yeah.
Shitty armor.
Punisher 3. This is also like clearly John Barenthal inspired Punisher. So he blasts him, but of course, Punisher's armor is fucking insane. It's like bulletproof.
That's a hell of a t-shirt.
Which is like, yeah. Jumps forward, cuts his hand off. That's 1, he says. Punisher 4, please. The guy just like, fuck this. I'm getting out of here, even though I have like walking armor. Yeah. Jumps up, grabs him, starts stabbing him in the leg. Punisher 5, he's like, get off, come on, man, fuck. And then takes the armor and starts like reconfiguring it as he's falling. And he does eventually use this to steal the armor, and he wears it, and it's a story arc where Punisher has the War Machine armor. I think he nukes a country or something. It's pretty crazy. So
sounds very sweet of
Who's
him.
in the
obviously
armor
not
at the moment when
Yeah.
he's fighting him?
It's not Rhodey. It was stolen. It's like some like other government, or it's like some other like foreign entity or this is like during when Hydra was taking over, whatever.
Sure.
I don't actually know who's in it.
Well,
It's
I'm
not Rhodey.
curious because it seems to me like whoever it is woefully unprepared to use the armor in any effective way, which I think might neuter the feat a bit.
I think it makes it less impressive than if he had fought Rhodey, who has like decades of experience with it. But it's still a dude in the fucking War Machine armor, and it's Frank Castle with a knife. You know.
I mean, it's a dude in the War Machine armor that apparently is weak at the wrist.
Yeah,
Like,
that's pretty crazy.
I feel like it was. Did he put it on wrong? Like, what happened? The War Machine armor, just standard, can have its eyepiece just chipped out with a single knife. I feel like that's not accurate.
I mean,
but
it's
okay.
taken bullet fire into the face many times, but I don't know. But regardless, like we can say that as Frank identifying the weak spots very quickly and making a calculation and pulling it off, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Crossover. Thanks, Gavin. Appreciate it.
Which is something Billy Butcher does as well, trying to pinpoint superheroes' weak points, as well as understanding what works and what doesn't work in taking them on. A great example would be I can't remember his name, the gun guy from season 3. Before Billy gets V, realizing that he has that he's using superhuman senses to like track where he can bounce his bullets off to hit Billy. Billy uses specific like car alarms and things like that to distract him and get him to miss so that Billy can get away. So like learning and understanding how, and before that he barely knew anything about this guy because he was just some random sidekick that nobody cared about from like ages ago. So learning how to overcome somebody like a superhero's or supervillain's weaknesses is key to what Billy does. So I do actually want to talk about potential weaknesses that these characters can exploit, because I'm not entirely sure what kind of weaknesses Punisher might have that could be exploited. Obviously, Billy has an arrogant level that can be exploited, as well as some mental instability. But what's Punisher's weakness?
Family trauma.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like kind of a similar thing. Punisher is like kind of crazy. He has multiple victories. I was going to bring this up in a different way, but I'll just mention it. He has defeated characters like Daredevil, Wolverine, Deadpool, Bullseye, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Ghost Rider. Which that last one is kind of. But he uses a spirit sword that he got off eBay. But like sometimes he will lose to those same characters. Like he has like victories against Daredevil, he has losses against Daredevil. That's normal comic stuff, but usually when he loses, it's because Daredevil is more like level-headed. Frank is like a killer. It's sort of like highlighting the difference in their like philosophies. Even though I don't know why being a killer would make you less. But he's more arrogant and unstable. It's the same thing with Billy. He doesn't have any weaknesses in terms of like I mean, he's
the
anti-Punisher.
Like,
shoot him in the head. Yeah, exactly.
There's no kryptonite. Billy could just find that.
Yeah,
turns
beat him
Punisher
to death
into like a shriveling husk.
Oh no, they have the unpunisher.
I do think that with his arsenal though, he has more options, not necessarily to exploit Billy Butcher's like weaknesses, but he can overwhelm him with stuff. Billy can like adapt in a situation, so can Frank. But if one has more stuff to throw at you, a lot of like varied stuff, Billy's going to be like on the back foot, and Frank is going to kind of take him to.
Billy is often on the back foot. That's kind of his whole thing. Because I mean I believe Punisher deals with this a lot too, because again he's dealing with like superpowered freaks. But Billy's thing is using his environment and his overall strategy, like you mentioned, prepping ahead of time to plan for how to take out his opponent, who is obviously stronger and faster than he is. It's not necessarily the case anymore, and I'll get to that, but that's what Billy's MO generally is. When you say he's got more to throw at him, are you just talking about like different weapons that he's carrying around?
Yeah. I was going to talk about that more at the end when we sort of talk about their extended stuff, like Billy's like stuff at the end of season 4.
Sure. Okay.
Well, like
yeah.
as like Frank Castle, like what are like what strength feats like are we looking at here? Like
I'm so glad you asked.
Because
Yeah,
like
let's talk about that.
I'm just assuming you got like he's lifted a car, you know, or something like. We might
Yeah,
be
it's-
crazier than that.
it's a lot of stuff like that. It's a lot of like he scales obviously to like your Captain Americas, your Daredevils, your
Does he?
Wolverines. Yes.
I mean,
yes,
like you
he
mentioned him
fights-
fighting Spider-Man before.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is a character who intentionally pulls back.
Spider-Man is
whenever he's
stronger.
fighting somebody who isn't as strong as him. So like, I don't know if you can necessarily say like, oh, he fought Spider-Man, therefore he scales with Spider-Man. That doesn't
I'm not.
necessarily.
Yeah. I didn't list Spider-Man just now specifically because I didn't want to give the Spider-Man is like somebody who's like kind of considered like a little level above somebody like Captain America. So it's like
Sure.
in the kind of classic Marvel. So yeah, he can fight a holding back Spider-Man. But
Doug
somebody
says
like
the Punisher has M&M scaling. What?
I want to bring up.
Do you know what that's talking about?
I have no idea, but this is better.
Okay.
I think if you calced this feat, it wouldn't be anything particularly impressive unless this character had durability feat. I just think it's fucking insane. Could you bring up Punisher 7, Mike? So he fights this big troll and immediately fucking slices him in half casually, and then he comes back. He's like, "I will kill you. I'm not dead yet," and then he cuts his head off again.
What's he using?
A katana.
He has a sword.
Like,
I think it actually might. No, it's like more of like a.
oh no, that's like a
European
claymore
sword.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a claymore. Although
Is
he
it
was
a
trained.
magic claymore because it's making like laser, like lightsaber swings. Like
I think that's the color of its blood.
Yeah,
like he's swinging and the blood is being carried.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
The top panel shows that.
Yeah, this is not the most insane
Okay.
thing, but it kind of goes to show like when you apply like peak human to like what would that actually
Right.
look like? It looks
Sure.
like that.
That's a sharp sword. Like,
Mhm.
Batman would
Okay.
like chuck a fucking rock into orbit, like he'd be like, and it would just go. That's like peak human in comic book land.
So
Um,
I will say, like, if we are just comparing strength for strength, I do absolutely have to rely on Billy being able to have access to
compound
Temp V or what happens to him in season 4.
Of course,
Now season 4 is a permanent change to him, so like it's not like it's a temporary thing. At least probably not.
I would count
I have-
the temp
I
V
have-
as well.
I have thoughts on what's going to happen in season 5 because season 5
Yeah.
is the last season for the boys, and that's pretty clear. It's pretty clear they're setting up a final season. So the Temp V definitely puts him above this peak human sort of level as he's able to keep up with characters like Soldier Boy and Homelander. Not necessarily beat them one-on-one. He can't beat either of them one-on-one, but he's able to like scar Soldier Boy. He's able to hold down Homelander. Like he's strong enough to deal with characters like that. And then he's also bulletproof. And he also is in his new form as well. So I mean, doesn't that just automatically trump Punisher's physical ability?
No, not at all.
No.
Homelander and Soldier Boy are not like Homelander is a Superman analog, sure, but he is not Superman. He does not like their
Oh,
physical
no.
feats. Yeah. I know that's not what you're saying, but like Homelander's actual literal feats are like comic book peak human like stuff. It's a weird thing to wrap your head around, but like, what does Homelander do? He lifts cars. He can like push his way through an airplane. Like peak human feats in Marvel are like ranging on like large building to like city block level. You could, I would make the case.
Hang
that
on.
somebody like Batman
You are
would
saying
fucking,
Homelander scales to
Yeah.
peak human?
and I love the
because
casual.
peak human is a lie,
and the
right?
casual,
Like
you know,
peak human is not
like,
true.
goes through
Don't
an
think so.
entire
Yeah.
airplane. Like, and it's like,
Okay.
nah.
Yeah.
I
When I
think
say-
it's
when I say
fucking
peak
funny
human-
as hell to say, oh, Homelander's just peak human because like
He
fuck
is.
him.
He's
But
comic
also,
book peak
that's
human
not
for sure.
true. That is not true.
It's what's Homelander's best
Like-
physical
like,
feat?
okay.
What is it?
Starlight, somebody
Yeah.
like her, or Kimiko, maybe. Starlight's definitely stronger than Kimiko. Would be an equivalent to these like peak human from Marvel and DC, right?
Okay.
I think they're intentionally hiding how strong Starlight actually is. I think they've done a pretty consistent job in hiding her actual strength.
Every time her eyes glow, somebody goes, "Stop! Don't do that."
Yeah.
It's
Like, no. Well, we got it. Yeah.
Chill the fuck out.
No, I mean that they're setting her up for a fight with Homelander. I mean that's pretty obvious to me. I think. But like Maeve is beyond that, and she's closer to Homelander's level. Like there's like she just like busts through a fucking armored car in the very first episode. Like, can Punisher do that?
Yeah.
He can just walk through an armored like bank vehicle.
This is Homelander. Hit me with
Homelander's
hit me with the best
able to
like
circle the world in like a couple minutes, I believe.
Okay, cool.
So if not seconds.
What source?
I was gonna say we'd have to whatever we said in the episode. It's been a minute.
Yeah, in the episode he's like
yeah, I don't
supersonic.
remember.
He's like supersonic in the episode.
I mean, he's like hypersonic, right? Like he's able to right. He's able to outspeed the explosion that blows up Stillwell's house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
like Mach 5,
that's
something like that. What's regular explosion is.
I'd say hypersonic at least, right? So
about the explosion.
But like,
be about Mach 5
why does that relate to? Is Punisher capable of moving like
Punisher
running
6,
an
Mike?
explosion like that?
You cut out what?
Punisher 6, Mike?
Oh.
Okay, he's got the slides.
This is Punisher drawing a gun in tandem with a fucking lightning bolt. He's faster.
What is with you and the fucking lightning lately?
I think it's more what's with the artist always doing this trick.
and it's completely unambiguous. Like the point of those 4 panels is to show him drawing a gun in tandem with a lightning bolt.
Interesting. And how fast is a lightning bolt?
Faster than an explosion. It can vary. I think about close to like Mach 300, I think is what we've had it at.
Okay, so this is the Flash, so it's the leader, not the initial like.
That's what I'm talking about. The faster one is like a third the speed of light.
Okay.
What if those were just multiple lightning bolts?
Could have been.
They don't strike the same
all right.
place twice, Chad. Come on.
So he can draw a gun.
He can react
at
like
Mach 300.
He can move faster. He can move his arms faster. I don't think he's going to be like flying or anything, but that was never going to be the.
I mean, he's not reacting there. He's just drawing a gun. He's just lifting a gun, which is just a single action.
He is reacting to this to what he's looking at, and he's moving his arms at the same speed as a lightning bolt, or at least tandem to a lightning bolt. So I think he's faster. And again, I just to talk broadly about like comic book peak. When I say peak human, remember that like when we did Batman
round one. I'm gonna get to the diabolical thing.
Yeah, we're talking about Batman, and we had that durability.
He's not faster, and I'll cover this. Anyway, keep going.
The Batman thing where he survives that gigantic like city like sized fucking explosion, or it's like several like city blocks. That's what like
he's
that's
at the edge of it. He's fine. No, like even when we scaled that in Death Battle, like we were like, it's not like
we calculated it to like we didn't. We calculated it to like 60 tons of TNT that his armor was tanking. That's like that kind of thing is consistent for like comic book peak human-ish characters. So when I say peak human, I don't mean like literally peak human. I mean comic book bullshit peak human, which is usually around building the city block, which is like at or in excess of characters like Homelander.
So Homelander can wipe out a city in seconds. It actually is established in there's like a handbook that was released where it outright says that he could wipe out a city in seconds. So saying he is city block level is not right.
How does he wipe it out?
Physically and with his heat vision, he could just burn the whole thing down in a matter of seconds. So and he's even threatened this before. It's mentioned in as we all know, it's mentioned that nukes would do nothing to him. Like he's an incredibly powerful, beyond comic book bullshit peak level person. Like I think it'd be ridiculous to try to say that Punisher matches Homelander. So let me get into the real shit here with Billy Because we have the temp V, which puts him on a level that I'd say is probably similar to Starlight. We have his heat vision from that super speed, super durability, etc. And sure, I think it's perfectly reasonable to say that he could be bringing temp V to this. Is that going to be enough to kill Punisher? Maybe, maybe not. The heat vision on its own is going to be pretty huge, I think, like a pretty useful ability to have, but not as useful as what happens to him in season 4. So let's get into season 4 spoilers.
Massive spoilers,
so yeah, in a side effect of temp V is that Billy now has brain cancer, and it is killing him. And as of the end of season 3, he has like 6 months to live. So one of his possible solutions to this is to get actual V and inject himself with it to potentially cure him. A big plot point that has been recurring but not really explored too much up to this point is that when V is injected into adults, it is unpredictable and potentially extremely dangerous. So season 4 does it spends a lot of time really emphasizing the fact that, like, hey, if V is injected into an adult, shit can go real wrong. And the twist is when Billy injected himself with V, he did not get superpowers. He himself does not have powers because he didn't inject himself with the V, or the V did not bond with him. It bonded with his tumor. So Billy now has a V'd up sentient super tumor inside of him that is capable of basically activating in some way that turns Billy himself into this unstoppable walking tank of a person who can shoot tendrils out of his chest. That was very disturbing.
That was, yeah.
Well, the idea is that the tumor inside of him is actually growing, and like, because it's cancer, right? Like, not to get into like some serious shit with cancer, but it is a cancer inside him that is now alive and is now taking over his whole body, essentially. It doesn't seem to be able to control him specifically, but it is sentient and able to communicate with him, which I think is actually a feature, quote unquote, of it being brain cancer, because there's another example of this happening earlier in the series, which is fascinating to me, that they set this up so long ago. But it is capable of the tendrils that it shoots out of him is capable of killing soups who are otherwise seem to be invulnerable to other soups. The two that it kills, big spoilers, are Ezekiel, who is the Luffy, right? He's the stretchy man who's made of rubber, right? Kills him pretty effortlessly. And the big one, though, is a soup who appears to be so durable that they never even like think about like sicking Starlight on her to just rip her head off, which is the head popper Newman, who they established very early on in season 4 is like, yeah, they don't have a way to kill her. Like, she's just indestructible. But then the tendrils are able to just rip her apart pretty effortlessly.
That was so weird. It's just like, because yeah, they've set all this stuff up, and it's just like, huh, boop, and then she's in half, and I was like, what?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a V'd up super tumor. Like the tumor itself communicates with him and talks to him and calls itself super cancer. So like, what's fascinating is that this is not the first time we've actually seen this power in the boys. This has actually been shown before in the Diabolical animated series. There's an episode where a woman who has pancreatic cancer gets V injected into her, and then she shoots tendrils out of her stomach that kill a bunch of people and move really fast and are super powerful. And it is a sentient tumor. There are some differences between these two powers because, and I think it can be reasoned that the differences come from the different cancer that it is. One is brain cancer, one is from the pancreas. Pancreas is a thing that like creates enzymes that help break down food, so her tendrils break things down and like absorb things, and there's a hunger element to it, whereas Billy's is more psychological in his head, like getting him to do things. The tumor that soon he has does not talk to her, but otherwise it works very similar. Shoots out of her and just kills a bunch of people. And specifically, there's a scene in the show, in the animated series, where her and her husband walk into a room. Their VOT's security team is after them. And the security team turns on them and just starts firing at them. There's like 6 guards, all with machine guns, that just try to completely obliterate them with a hail of fire, right? So, and then instantly the tendrils shoot out and catch every single bullet that's in the air. Every single one. So I looked into what they're actually firing at her with. So the VOT security team has pretty consistently through the series used the Scorpion submachine gun, Scorpion Evo 3, which can fire about 20 rounds per second. A Scorpio's magazine carries about, it's like a 30-round mag. So that's, if it's 20 rounds per second, that means that that's about 600 bullets per second. Average human reaction time is about 1 to 2 seconds, assuming that they eventually stop firing when they realize that she's catching all the bullets. So let's say about 2 seconds of firing. That's like a, low ball, I think, which means that there are 1,200 bullets in the air per gun. There's 6 guards. So that is Sunhee in less than 2 seconds catches 7,200 bullets in midair. Also, there's only like maybe 20 feet between them, so like 6 meters. Scorpion fires about 370 meters per second, or the range, which means that she had to catch over 7,000 bullets in less than 100th of a second. What's Punisher got on that? Like, Billy's tendrils should work exactly the same in terms of speed, because it's the same power.
First off, you said 2 seconds was a low ball because it's a slow reaction time. That's a high ball because it increases the amount of bullets that are on screen.
It is a reaction.
Human reaction
to no. It is a reaction to them stopping, not to them firing. Because it like cuts to black, so we don't know how long they're firing at her. I'm assuming that they stop firing once they realize that there's like weird tendrils that they weren't expecting. So that's why it's a low ball. They could be firing for 5 seconds, which means that there's like 10 times more bullets that she has to catch. Like, that's why I'm saying it's a low ball.
Well, but a bullet wouldn't still be in the
really
air.
Matters.
Yeah, a bullet also wouldn't stay in the. A bullet would have to travel so incredibly far for it to be in play within 5 seconds, like it would have hit something.
No, she's catching them all.
Yeah.
I understand that, but like once you've caught them, it's no longer like you can't factor them into the speed calculation.
It's the number of bullets that are in the air. So I'm saying that they fire for 2 seconds at minimum, which means that there are 7,000 bullets. If they stopped later, then there would be like 20,000 bullets that she'd have to catch. Regardless, doesn't matter. The point is that she's the real number here is how fast she has to catch them, which is again in less than 100th of a second, and the fact that she's catching 7,000 bullets, and this is all instinctual. Like, she's also not really, she doesn't understand what she has. She doesn't know what's going on. The tumor itself is just doing this for her.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Again, similar to Billy, his tumor just kind of reacts and does things even against his will sometimes. Even though it can't seem to control his body, it also seems to like give him a regenerative healing factor, and because it can heal any wounds that he has, like the very wounds that are formed when it comes out. And when he is killing Newman, Newman's guards are firing at him with similar weapons, and he's just standing there. He's fine. Very similar to earlier in the episode when the president elect's guards are firing at another soup, and she's just standing there taking it like whatever, it's fine. So what the hell
Tentacle
is
speed
Punisher
fast.
supposed to do against that? Like, I'm pretty sure the speed is incredible. The bullets don't mean anything to him anymore, and he's also strong enough to kill a soup that Starlight never imagined she could kill. And again, Starlight is probably on that same peak human, comic book bullshit peak human that we've been talking about. So how on earth does, like, that's enough? That's it. Like, he just grabs Punisher, rips him in half. Like,
hang on. Punisher 10, Mike. and the spike. This is Frank's more extended arsenal.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna run down some of this stuff here. He has Hawkeye's bow and his trick arrows. Tarantula's boots, though who cares? At the Owl's Claws, who cares? The Electrified Whip from Whiplash, again, who cares? Grim Reaper's Scythe with its Sonic Cannon. The Punisher Shield, which is like, I doubt
shield.
it's made of anything. Oh, I don't know. I don't think it's like literally that, but I'm not entirely sure.
I'm pretty
the
sure
Punisher Glider, which is, it is? Okay, great.
I think
Captain America's Shield.
One.
The Punisher Glider, which is just the Green Goblin glider. Unicorn's Power Horn and Claw's Sonic Disruptor, Daredevil's Baton, Hobgoblin's Pumpkins, which of course can like vaporize people instantly. One of Dr. Octopus's tentacles, just one. An Iron Man gauntlet. Ghost's gauntlets, which can allow him to go intangible, and then I think the biggest one, Ant-Man's helmet and Pym particles.
Yeah. In this arc, he steals a lot of other heroes and villains' shit. And so that's like, he just gets a lot of their stuff.
Okay, what does he use all this stuff for?
Killing people. Demolishing.
Cool.
He uses them for punishment.
Yeah.
Give me some examples.
I
mean, he uses the scythe. He uses the scythe to beat Deadpool in a fight. I remember this.
Okay.
He can shrink and go inside people.
Here we go.
He goes inside a guy and bursts outside of him with the Pym particles. It's a fucking Iron Man gauntlet. He uses it to blast Spider-Man away. This stuff alone would be enough to like. This is more than enough to handle somebody like Billy.
So this is what you were talking about when you were like, "Oh, he's just gonna throw a bunch of things at him." All right, so
yeah, exactly.
I understand the concept of like he's gonna overwhelm him with all these like all this tech and weapons and things like that. But like, can he activate any of that stuff in less than 100th of a second?
Yes, bro. He fucking fired in tandem with lightning. What are we talking about here? That is way less than 100th of a second.
He lifted a gun in less than 100th of a second. Like, we're talking about activating Pym particles.
All you need to do is that for the Pym particles.
I will say,
too. He would do it even fast. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about here.
With this, like...
he just has that available at any time. He can just instantly go like, boop, and then he's shrunken.
Without any, like, fancy stuff, he is able to keep up with all of, like, Ghost Rider's chains that are trying to tie him down.
Yes,
because Ghost Rider's trying to do the penance stare, and he's like cutting through all the chains and avoiding it. So
he survived being blasted by Electro's lightning, like in his chest. Like Electro, the guy that creates like enormous, like city-spanning fucking thunderstorms. His experience. He has. This is in a different arc. He has a suit called the Venom Mech system, which is like a living armor that replicates a symbiote. So he has like a semi-venom suit, which is kind of an interesting comparison to the tendrils because those are also kind of venomy. He has the Satan Claw, which is just this big gauntlet that he punches Rhino with. Punches him so hard, like hits his armor, punches him so hard that Rhino like physically cannot stand up afterwards. This is a guy that like shrugs off hits from Spider-Man. And I think one time fought the Silver Surfer, but that's obviously bullshit.
Spider-Man holds back. We're talking about characters who hold back.
He does not hold back against the Rhino. He cannot. The whole point of the Rhino is that he's too tough for Spider-Man to like punch through his armor.
You're talking about Rhino's the guy. Okay,
yeah, Rhino. Yeah. I think that like his arsenal and his experience fighting characters, fighting supervillains, fighting super powered characters like Billy Butcher ultimately it is enough to take him down, especially when that tumor and Billy are not the same being. Billy's like brilliance and experience and all that stuff is not going to be as useful when he has a something working for him, but is not directly under his control, at least at this point.
Well, it is sort of like that's kind of one of the story arcs of season 4 is him accepting that the tumor is a part of him, because it's the sentience that the tumor forms is not like another entity. It is part of Billy. Like it's kind of weird like to describe, but it's essentially like it's him, but it's him manifested in like this tumor in his head. It's fucking gross and weird, but hey, we're talking about the boys. So but the idea is that it's essentially his inner voice now has like a physical presence in his mind. So or like a visible presence as opposed to something that he can just ignore. But again, by the end of it, the whole story arc that he goes under throughout season 4 is accepting his inner voice, essentially, or choosing which inner voice to interact with. I imagine like it manifested as a guy that he let die when he was working for special forces. I imagine in season 5 we're going to get it manifesting as like his brother and things like that. Like it'll manifest as other things, other inner voices, but and he's going to have to work through that. But Negan's probably no longer, because it's I'm blanking on his name. It's the actor who plays Negan.
Kessler.
He's probably done, or at least maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he is going to appear in season 5, but who knows? But that's basically, he has merged with it in a sense.
I've seen a couple people in the chat say all Punisher has to do is wait out 6 months and he wins.
Well, that's another thing.
He is
we don't know what's going to happen now, right?
It's kind of implied, at least visually, that once he accepts the tumor like stops affecting him negatively, because like he's in a really, it's again, it feels weird talking about, because we're talking about act like cancer here, but the way the tumor's like he's really fucked up and dying at one point, and then he accepts the voice of the tumor because shit happens with his son, or with Ryan. And then the next time we see him, he's like walking around all fine. He looks a lot healthier. He looks better than he has the entire season.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the tumor was like actively pulled itself back to let him keep going. So
Ben, are you seriously suggesting that if my grandfather had accepted his leukemia,
he
would still be here today?
I mean, was his leukemia sentient and talking to him about fucked up shit from his past?
I don't know. I don't know.
So the story in Diabolical is really fascinating, because like it is confirmed canon, but like it's also clearly supposed to be allegorical for an actual battle with pancreatic cancer, right? That's kind of how the story is written to be, and the
metaphors.
Yeah, and The Boys does this all the time with powers, right? Anytime somebody, like maybe not the original like cast, but anytime a person gets a power in The Boys, like the resulting power relates to their like situation or their trauma or their like primary conflict in some way, which is, you know, it sounds kind of obvious, but it's really cool when it's done really well. So like I'm not just saying like, I guess what I'm trying to say here is like the way the cancer is presented is in context of the story, like this really fucked up and like serious thing. But if we look at it from a death battle perspective, we gotta kind of separate ourselves from that. But yeah, so I guess what we should probably look at to kind of like finish wrap up this argument is we have this array of weapons and powers and whatnot, but we started this by talking about how they're both prep timers, right? Like they both prep to counter those incredible abilities and skills. So with all this in mind, how would prep actually change this? Because I do think Billy has fought and killed and worked around characters who have powers that are very similar to most, if not all, the like weapons and stuff you've talked about. So I could totally see him learning about all these weapons and coming up with a plan that counters them. Like
Frank is very low profile. Like he is extremely hard to pin down. There isn't like an easy, I don't think there'd be an easy way for Billy to like learn like specific details about Frank, about his arsenal. I think the difference is simply the difference between The Boys and Marvel. Billy preps against characters who can often be emotionally exploited, emotionally manipulated, people who are like stupid fucking degenerates, you know. Frank preps against like serious supervillains, like the people that The Boys are parodying. The whole point of The Boys is that like these superheroes and supervillains are like, they're actually shitty fucking losers if you look into it. But in Marvel, they're not shitty fucking losers if you look into it. They're serious trouble. And I think that's where like Frank's because then what if Frank like preps against Billy? Let's say they both prep against each other. I think that like Billy is much more easy to exploit. He isn't. They have similar backgrounds, but Billy clearly is not as skilled. He does not go hand to hand with Daredevil or Wolverine or characters like that. I'm going to list off just some of the martial arts that Punisher knows.
Okay.
Off the top. CQC, Muay Thai, Krav Maga, Sistema, Ninjutsu, Shorin Ryu Karate, Hwarang Do, Chin Na, and Nash Ryu Jujutsu. I know that that's like standard comic book. Oh, they know every martial art. But like, you have to count that. There was a point where I think in his very first time fighting Spider-Man, Mike, if you could bring up image Punisher 9, please. He gets Spider-Man to leap so that it's harder for him to dodge in midair. He's leaping backwards, grabs onto a thing with his hand, and then shoots perfectly accurately Spider-Man's web shooters.
Damn.
Just from midair while Spider-Man is leaping. This is Punisher's first appearance.
In the middle of a backflip.
This is in the middle of a backflip. I think that like Billy is just simply not. He's scrappy, but when he gets into fights physically, he almost dies to fucking translucent. And I know that he has better feats than that. I'm not saying that he's like a chump, but I'm saying that compared to Frank, he's a chump.
Spider-Man, holy gosh.
I mean, and I think Billy would look at everything you just said and say like, fuck that shit. That's a load of bollocks. Who fucking cares what kind of dumb martial art shenanigans you know? I'm just going to run you over with a car and then stab your face through with a tendril.
Frank has a battle van.
One of the very first things Billy ever does is run over a guy with a car who is invisible. He has no fucking idea where he is, but he does it anyway.
Billy
it doesn't matter.
Fight.
The point is, he's willing to just throw himself at shit, and he doesn't give a shit if you're better than him at certain things. He's going to find a way to outsmart you or outmaneuver you or just guts you until you just give up and die. Like he's going
Frank
to.
Castle.
There's no fucking way
not gonna happen.
Punisher can outlast Billy when Billy's like,
this is like
the only thing that can take Butcher down is himself, because he just tanks shit, and he just like he just says, fuck your bullshit, I'm gonna figure out a way to kill you.
It's like this is like those martial artists in like the 19th century. There's like during the Boxer Rebellion where they were like, we're bulletproof, and then the Imperial Army went, okay, and like massacred them. Like
I was gonna use the Indiana Jones gun scene as a reference.
Yeah, I mean like look, everything you just described is also operating with Frank. Frank is also somebody that like will throw himself into situations and out, guts and out muscle situations. But he also has this other stuff to rely on because the scale of what they're dealing with is different. Billy is dealing with the boys. Punisher is dealing with the fucking Marvel universe. There's a scene at the end of like the Secret Wars, the recent one, this big Secret Wars, where like the whole universe is ending or whatever, and all the supervillains are at this bar or whatever in like this separate dimension or something. And they're all like fucking looking at the TV and seeing all the superheroes get absolutely massacred and being like, oh, fuck you. And then Frank Castle walks in and he kills fucking all of them. He walks in with 2 big ass guns and goes, you're dead, against a bar full of like deadly supervillains. He just rips Billy to shreds.
Okay. Well, I mean, I really don't think there's any way he's going to be able to counter these tendrils and this ridiculous bulletproof superhuman version of Butcher we have at the end of season 4. But this isn't up to me. This isn't up to Liam. This is up to you guys. I'm going to write up the poll. While I'm writing up the poll, Chad, can you give me your thoughts? Who you think you
I will, but first, Deranged says, it's such a difficult 2 universes to match up. They feel like it's realistic heroes versus imagination heroes. And thanks, Keep Talking as well. Which I love that your name is still Keep Talking ever since we outed you for saying stop talking. That was amazing. I appreciate your dedication. Man, I don't know. I think what's hanging me up is just we haven't seen enough of Butcher's new powers. So like, I don't know. It's like theoretically like they haven't been like, and here's exactly why like he was able to defeat the head popper, right? You're just like, oh. Like somebody in chat said, well, the tendril wrapped around her eyes, and we've seen her eyes turn colors earlier, so maybe it was that. It's like, I don't know, man. So because of that, I just think Punisher's got the experience to win it for right now. But hey, maybe next season we revisit this and be like, oh, never mind. look what he
the
did.
The reason why it wraps around her eyes is because she has a hemokinetic power, the ability to basically make blood explode. But she has to be looking at it. So if you cover it up with something that is not blood, it's just like more tumor.
She can't look at it.
Can't do it.
But when the tumor, I don't know. I
It's
need
like
to get
weird
it.
dead flesh, I think. I don't really know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the tendrils are made
That's
of.
I know.
Sam,
native tumor.
what do you think?
I don't know. I kind of feel like, yeah, like if Punisher has all the equipment stuff, like the PIM particles and stuff, I don't see how he doesn't just get inside of Billy's head, literally. Like just gets in there and then just uses like an Iron Man gauntlet to blast away everything in there. And then that's pretty much that. Yeah, I mean, I think as long as he has his full kit, I think Punisher.
Okay. Well, you guys
You
can
and
think
your-
that I just wrote up the poll and put it on, a completely unbiased poll, and you guys can vote for whatever you want, whoever you think should win between, the badass Billy Butcher and the puny.
Did that to me last week.
Punisher.
I'm
go ahead and get your votes
I'm
in.
glad I said Punisher. Now, extra.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We know you're wrong, right? Butcher obviously wins this, as 28% of you so far agreed. 28%. Come on. We can get a little higher. It was 29% for just a second.
No, it's going down.
No. Come on,
Regularly.
guys. Butcher obviously wins this, right?
I do think Billy definitely wins if Punisher doesn't have like his extensive kit, right? Like if he just has like a couple guns on him, I think Billy wins. But with like all of his extra shit, I definitely think the Punisher wins.
What about Frankencastle? He has like a transformation where he turns into a big Frankenstein. I don't know I didn't look into it because it seemed dumb. And he's a big Frankenstein.
Okay,
That would be
well,
sick. I want that.
I wish we had seen more, but I mean, it was all building up to be the finale moment. So it's like,
yeah,
that's
this
where we're
season's
at,
kind of a part one of the final 2 seasons, right? So there's very much a lot of setup in this season.
Do you think he's gonna turn into like a Tetsuo style blob?
Oh,
well,
yeah, predictions for what will happen in season 5. Yeah, I mean,
my thought is like somehow Billy dies, but then like the tumor lives on and then finds another host, and it becomes like the symbiote of the boys' universe.
In the Diabolical episode, the tumor actually separates itself from Soon-Hee. And it like Soon-Hee actually gets her own powers from it, unlike Billy, and it basically ends with her fighting the tumor. Again, cancer allegory, right? So that I could see something happening where it separates. I think they're building up to Huey having to do something to kill Butcher, because like so much of Huey's story has been about like letting go, and it seems like they're setting him up as the one who has to kill Butcher, but we'll see. All right, you guys really aren't going to go over 27%?
No.
Okay, fine. I'll end the poll. Our winner with 72% of the vote is puny, pathetic Punisher.
Punisher.
Congratulations, Liam. It's another victory.
2 in a row.
Well, I'll get you one of these days. I'll get you next time. Get it? All right. So, hey, let us know if you think this should be a real death battle, or if you have some ideas for who these guys should fight in a death battle outside of each other. Like maybe there's a more peak human character for Punisher to fight. Or I saw some Stain and Negan suggestions in the chat for the Butcher, which could be pretty cool. It's Negan after season 4. That's kind of fun. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, go check out the Kickstarter if you haven't. We updated it with some new rewards recently. We've got 7 days left in the Kickstarter, and we are going to be doing some final streams in the last like 48 hours or so for the Kickstarter. So be sure to tune back in to the Death Battle channel next Wednesday and Thursday, as we will be doing some unique live shows and trying out some new stuff to not just to like, follow the end of the Kickstarter, but also to have fun with you guys.
Do
It's gonna be a great last week.
Do you want to just tell them this is our last chance for live, other than like socials?
Oh, sure. I mean, I know we want to do a variety of different things, but one of the things we want to do. I mean, you can go ahead and say it if you want.
Oh yeah, Ben's planning a fun little D&D one shot for us to do. So we're gonna do a character building stream with y'all on next Wednesday, and then on Thursday Ben's gonna run it. He's gonna DM for us, so I'm excited. It should be fun.
I've had an idea that I wanted these guys in for like over a year now. this is
So
how I'm gonna get them into
doing
it.
So that should be fun.
Yeah. So join us for our one shot as well as some other things next Wednesday and Thursday as we do Dungeons and Death Battles. Yep. As we count down to the end of the Kickstarter, which again, regardless of what this Kickstarter ends on, like, you guys have knocked it out of the park. It's been incredible watching that number go up. As like weird as that is to say, I don't know. It's really humbling, and we're very appreciative of all your generosity. And yeah, Death Battle's fucking saved, y'all.
Yep.
It's gonna be so good.
My mom
Very
is so
saved.
excited. She has a sheet of paper that she's just been writing as the numbers go up and the times and date. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom, it's okay. Like, she's very excited. So
Such a nice lady.
yeah.
So sweet.
All right. We will see you all later. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, we do this live every Thursday from here on out at noon at Central Time. The VOD will be going up on the YouTube channel at 6 p.m. every Thursday. That's 6 p.m. Central, as well as our champion exclusive, our member exclusive champion cast that goes up at the same time for members. And then it also goes up on Spotify and everywhere else you can find podcasts later on too. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for joining in to this epic death battle between two very angry boys. We'll see you all
The
next week.
angriest. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.